Hi everyone, Autumn here. I'm a mother and a caregiver of a 15-year-old autistic son named Liam. And I'm sharing a vlog, my personal experience, my journey, the insights I've gained along the way to help anyone else who may resonate with our life, our choices, our lifestyle, our mindset, and may want to live a more supportive, creative, nurturing life. Basically, I decided early on that autism was not going to define our life, that we were going to define the type of life that we created. And autism is an undeniable factor of our life, but it doesn't have to dominate the energy of our experiences. And so wanting connection, wanting love, those values are transcending any kind of neurological differences that my son and I face. And so our goal together is to enjoy life, is to find the things that light us up, that we enjoy sharing and doing. And yes, my son might need more assistance, but that's where I come in, and that helps me as a giver to be able to give him the assistance that he needs. And he involves me in his energy and his loving nature by needing that assistance. This is something that came up in a podcast I was recently a guest participant in. Isn't it fascinating that a neurodivergent individual often needs a team of people around them, unlike, let's say, an independent neurotypical? They can have a circle of friendships and support network, that they don't necessarily need someone for their daily living activities or for work help or for leisure time. They can do a lot of things more, like an island if they want to. They can be a little closed off. But the neurodivergent individual, especially the ones with apraxia, non-speaking autism, fine motor apraxia challenges, they need a strong, loving support system to just live, to just exist and succeed in staying alive. A lot of times I look at what I do with my son and I'm like, I'm keeping you alive, right? There's things that if I fail to do them, neglect would set in and his ability to maintain life would cease. So I do feel like my son and I chose this mission, and other families, that their children and they chose this mission together to teach interdependence. And a lot of times I feel this dichotomy happening where my son can do things independently, and I want to encourage that because that's a sense of autonomy that he gets to develop and build. And because he has so many areas in his life where he needs help, the more he can be autonomous in the areas that he can be, the more self-confidence he gains through seeing himself as that sovereign, independent soul and citizen, right? But at the same time, the areas that need assistance, they're there for a reason. They're nothing to be ashamed of. I feel like my son actually accepts himself and his limitations pretty darn well. He loves himself in his limitations. He teaches me how to love myself in some of my limitations. And limitations can be something that we're experiencing here and now that we want to transcend, that we might set goals, that we might, set intentions to actually transcend and grow in. But it doesn't serve us to ignore the limitation and to say something like, well, I have no limits. Well, yeah, in one dimension, that's true, but in a physical body, you're going to have limits. For instance, this morning was one of our, Liam gets up early after only 6 hours of sleep, and mom would like to sleep longer. And unfortunately, we don't have the setup quite yet where Liam can be awake and not wake me up. We live in a small house together. So a lot of times Liam's noises and the things that he does to regulate himself wake me up and prevent me from falling back asleep. And I've got the kind of mind that I never use a snooze alarm. When I wake up, I'm awake. So it's not like it would be even beneficial for me to I'm going to go back to sleep and it's quiet. Doesn't always happen. But that's my predisposition with sleep and how I get startled awake by anything. It could be a cat. That's why I've taken some measures to lock my cats in the kitchen who've been known to climb all over me and wake me up early in the morning. But the thing about that is, like, I have to learn to live, and I've had to learn to live with the limitations that lack of sleep can provide. Like, I can't do as much in a day unlimited sleep than I can in a day that I get a really good night's rest. And I think as humans, we were made that way so that we actually get the rest and our body can rejuvenate with the sleep. So I know for many families with autistic individuals, this is a challenge. Sleep can be scattered. It can be broken. It can be absent for a while. And so what do we need? So what I need is like my fiance or a support person to be with my son, where I can go somewhere and sleep or take a nap, catch up on something. And in time, I might devise a situation where my son and my bedroom are farther away. So if he wakes up, it doesn't wake me up, right? So there's modifications we can do, recognizing our limitations. It's not ignoring the limitation and saying, I'm super mom, who needs sleep? Sleep, team no sleep. You know, there is no glory at all anymore. And I've been on this journey long enough with enough sleepless nights to recognize my body's need for pretty much 7 or 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep. And my son might not need that. And your neurodivergent loved one might not need that. So you've got to craft a situation where their needs are being met and your needs are being met. And guess what that takes? It takes creativity, and it takes non-judgment, and it takes a commitment to supporting unique bodies. And all of these things, I feel like our specialty with art, it's a way to tap into that energy so that you can creatively face the problems, the challenges that also arise in this journey, and you don't feel stuck that if one way is not working, well then there's nothing left to do. That's just not how it is. And when we're creating a piece of art and it goes in a way that we don't expect, we open our minds and we say, well, what else could I do? And we don't have a lot of attachment to one or other direction, and it teaches us non-attachment, and we're practicing that skill in one setting that then we can generalize to our life. So I do want to reiterate that our life is a canvas. We are the artists. What are you creating? Are you creating with limits in mind, but aware of how you want to expand? Or are you only seeing one way to create that piece of art in your life, and if it doesn't, it sucks. Darn it. Can you see beauty in a different way, in a different light? Can you see the beauty that happens when we normalize sleeping issues well into the teens and the 20s, and we say, someone can actually give to me by saying, Autumn, do you need a nap? It gives someone an opportunity to love on me, and for me to receive that love as a caregiver. That's one thing I want to really recommend to all my caregiver moms and dads and everyone out there. Don't refuse the help. You need it. This is like a marathon. And there was a time when I used to be more like, I can do it. And now I'm like, I need help. I need a village. So whatever support team you can create that is aligned and serves you. It doesn't help if there's people in your life that are draining you. If there's professionals or there's a school setting or something that actually drains you, then it's not even helpful. But if you can create and craft the life and the team of people that really support you, and then everyone's aware of what a bad night might look like sleeping and what that might mean the caregiver needs, or what the child might need because the night was difficult. There's a little less demands. There's maybe a little bit more flexibility in the day. Maybe there's a time where you try to nap together, right? Sometimes I'm successful at being like, Liam, let's lay down and see if a nap happens, and sometimes it does. So the flexibility of our life is so important for all these challenges that we face. And I hope you enjoy, the art that we create together, the energy behind it. And I'm going to touch more into this through the programs, through the workshops, through the things that I offer, because it really is about this mindfulness and this energy. And it's not so much about the actual 3D materials or the, project theme. Those are great, and those help us feel really alive and energized. But it's more about getting into the energy and sitting down and committing and saying, I'm going to think outside the box today. I'm going to allow myself to be creative because I know that's a resource and a tool that will enhance my life and the life of my neurodivergent loved one. All right. Love you all. Have a great day.